I have a couple of notes that I just wanted to fill in. First, to say that we were all so pleased to be allowed to view the 5 movies. Of course, I had not seen any of them, and it's a real window into the excellence of Chinese film production. I was particularly struck by the absolute visual beauty of every single movie. The command of the medium at a very high level is stunning, and something to be lauded. And especially, many of the movies were made under really challenging conditions. There are so many daylight exterior, nighttime exterior sequences in all of these movies. Must have been so difficult, the circumstances under which these movies are made and captured in such a breathtaking manner, really the high art of cinema. Now, the great thing about movies is that it's an international language. And so all the borders fall away. And we really all in this room speak the same language. There are 3 types of movies being made today in this global industry, right? What's so exciting is that we are in a global industry, thank heavens. And at USC here, it is a global university. And we get the benefit of students who come from all over the world to study together. It is a very stimulating environment, as you all know. So there are 3 types of movies being made today. The first type is the very expensive English language tentpole movie. Terribly difficult to do, terribly challenging because it's very stressful because the budgets are so high. And the risk is so great. And they're not all big successes. These are highly speculative investments on the part of these English language movies. In fact, in the last year, we've had examples of 2 relative failures in this particular marketplace, in this rarefied marketplace of the very expensive tentpole big event movie intended for a global audience. Universal made a picture for, it was over $100 million US, called Battleship, based on the board game, the children's board game. And Battleship at the box office, sadly, sank like a battleship right to the bottom. Well, nobody sets out to have a movie that will be distressed in the marketplace. It is very sad and can only be done by a very strong, very secure, very wealthy global media conglomerate like Comcast owning NBC Universal, the parent company that took the hit on Battleship. The great media company Disney also took a hit this year. This was a $2 million investment separate from marketing costs. This is $2 million production, USD.
200.
That's what I mean. What did I say? Oh, that's terrible. I'm glad people are paying attention. Okay.
They wish they made it for $2 million.
They wish they made it for $2 million. That's exactly right. So John Carter is the name of the movie. Greenlit at over $200 million negative cost. You can imagine that marketing costs, even though it was curtailed once it went out, was about probably another $100 million globally just to launch it, just to introduce it to the global marketplace. This picture also failed at the box office. Now, we can't learn much from failed pictures except to admire, frankly, the investment, the sense of green-lighting a movie with passion and with expectation, without any certainty at all that any of these products will be successful and get a return on the investment. This is one of the only businesses you know where you make a full investment before you even know if the product is marketable. Now, this is a crazy business to be in, okay? But it's very attractive. And that uncertainty attracts a lot of entrepreneurial people, craftspeople, artists, this wonderful global community that we have of movie people and media people in general. So that's the first type of movie. Second type of movie is a local language movie that travels. So it was made economically at a proper budget level for the local market, wherever it was made. You get your money back, you hope for a profit. But something contained, something intangible, contained in the message of the movie, in the experience of watching the movie, translates to other centers of culture and other languages. And that's wonderful. And we have some examples. It's very tough because it's a surprise usually, and that makes a movie profitable. Looper in the US recently traveled to China and did very well. Hero, of course, the great movie of about 8 or 9 years ago that did very well here in the United States. So the third type of movie, as you would expect, is a local language movie that does not travel. Made for the local market, anywhere in the world, in any center of culture, and that's the heart of the movie business today, anywhere. In US, in China, anywhere at all. So I wanted to close by making one more point, because we've been talking mostly about theatrical. And there's a whole new world online in terms of movie making and marketing. And this has been my scholarly work for the last 4 or 5 years. In fact, I was very grateful through the kindness and guidance of Stanley Rosen to have my article on this subject translated and published for the first time anywhere in China, in Film Art Magazine, the scholarly magazine of the China Film Association, in March of this year. I was delighted with that. And this is something to consider for the future. That in addition to traditional marketplace issues, theatrical, that we've been discussing throughout most of this weekend, there is a burgeoning potential business model online of what is called DIY, do it yourself, but it's not really do it yourself. You do it with a core group of people you trust, of making movies or other expressions digitally, very low budget, and with the entrepreneurial spirit, marketing them online, distributing them online through VOD and other platforms on, for example, iTunes, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, and others. This, in my opinion, will be much of the future for creators and for audience members of a whole new range of product. Can't wait for it to really kick in. It is just in the nurturing stage. There are really good examples in US and in China. We look forward to that growing and shifting and really taking hold in the future, and we'll all be studying this together. Thank you very much for your time.